Hey guys, welcome to Post Market Report. And as you can see, of course, at another day where Adanis are making headlines, all the Adani stocks, as you can see on the screen, Adani Power up by 20%, Upper Socket Adani Green up by 14% almost, and Adani Energy up by 12%. FNO stock, Adani Enterprise itself is up about 7%. Think of it, it's a FNO stock. It's not easy for a big stock like that to go up 7%. That too very frequently as it does, and obviously Adani Gas as well is also up by about 6 to 7%. So basically, the main reason behind such a huge rally is because they have. There are some speculations that they're going to raise more funds, and there's a lot of volatility because they have some political development happening in the United States as well. So all of that combined together, this is a very volatile market. And as you can see, the plan to raise more funds is clearly because if they raise more money, that means they're going to invest it somewhere else, and basically that will result in more revenue for either one of their conglomerate companies, like be it any of them. So clearly we can see that effect taking place across all of its subsidiary companies today, and we notice it on a daily basis. Adanis are meant to be more volatile than any other stock, right? So next off, another main news of the day is probably the Indian mid cap fund, actually mid cap, the whole sector itself, right? We have noticed a huge fall. Even technically it looks very bearish, which I had spoken in my weekly analysis as well. So as you can see today, a data that came out said that BSE, if you complete all calculate all the market capitalization of all the companies in Bombay Stock Exchange, that it has surpassed $5 trillion worth of market cap. But now, due to the recent fall, apparently it is now below 5 trillion for the first time. So that is, I mean, clearly tells you that FIIs are pulling money out of our market. This is, you can see the impact in these numbers. So next off, obviously, let's take a look at the daily charts today. As you can see, Nifty, nothing much to say here. As you can see down here, it's an insider candle. That means market was very sideways. But notice a difference how Nifty's inside candle is a bearish, inverted hammer. But if I just go to Bank Nifty's daily candle, it's exactly ulta, right? It's a hammer candle, a bullish hammer. But again, this is mainly due to a fundamental news in the public banking sector, which I'll get to in just a minute as to why, even though Nifty is going, on a bearish turn, Bank Nifty was very bullish today. So basically, it has something to do with the fact that central government basically has okayed state governments to sell their stake in, for example, UCO Bank, IOB, Bank of Maharashtra. So clearly, in Bank of Maharashtra government holds a serious major amount of stake. So now central government says that they're okay to sell that if there are any buyers. And clearly, I think even HDFC Bank showed quite a bit of interest in entering into other banking stocks. So it could be, I mean, I'm not sure who the buyer is, so it just says that qualified institutional placement, QIP, for about 2000 crore. So we'll have to wait and see what will happen. But this is clearly a good news because a state-owned company is becoming private-owned company now slightly. So clearly, private investors will come in, and they'll put some innovation into it. So that could be the reason why the whole banking sector is on a bit of a buzz today, right? And next off, obviously, we saw Piramal Enterprise jump about 7%. Again, another FNO player jumping 7% in a day. That's a great news. And this has something to do with a company that they owned called as Molecular Imaging Scale. Now, see, Piramal Enterprise is just like Adani Enterprise. They own a huge amount of companies. They have a huge portfolio of companies, and one of them in the healthcare sector called as Molecular, and they're selling it for apparently $140 million. So that's obviously a one-time gain for the company, which is good. It's going to be reflected in the quarter three. So the stock goes up as a result. And next off, we have all these stocks like Coforge, Fortis Healthcare, and Paytm, and eight other stocks are actually entering the MSCI index from March. So that will clearly result in about 1.3 billion dollars worth of funds into these companies. So it's a slightly positive thing, and this happens every now and then. When they basically, it's called as rejig. That means they rebalance the indices, and just like MSCI, we also have a rejig in. And just like MSCI, we also have a reject, that is rebalancing happening in our Nifty 50 as well in March. So it says that, it basically depends upon the market capitalization. When, stocks either go very high, very low, obviously rebalancing will happen. And now they're saying new age stocks like, Zomato, Geo Financial Services will come into Nifty 50, but OG stocks like BPCL, our oil sector company, and Britannia Industry from FMCG sector could go down. And what is the reason? Understand it, like, in the past few videos I've been telling, BPCL, oil companies took a hit, right, because oil price is going up, because US is implying some sort of a more tax on Russia. So all the market capitalization of, oil and petrol related stocks came down. So BPCL, it affects BPCL and it has come down. And I've also mentioned FMCG stocks are under a hit because of inflation. The first thing inflation affects is the food. So clearly FMCG is also not performing that well. So Britannia, being one of the FMCG leader stock out there, has also been affected. So clearly we see the, interconnection between how all the news combines, and now we have rebalancing coming in, and there goes the OG old stocks.